Okay. Goodness, y'all. Push to talk issues. Okay, let's try that again. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. Not sure how many people I have joining in today, but we'll go ahead and get started. So, tonight we will be streaming round number 2 of the Painscreek killings. So, last time we left off in the middle of researching this death of a cold case for a woman named Vivian Roberts. She is the mayor's wife, or ex-mayor's wife, and she was murdered in 1995. We are a journalist, and it is currently 1999, and we are going to review all of the clues that we can find in this derelict ghost town to see if we can't solve the cold case. So we took some notes last time, as you can see here on the screen. Again, push to talk issues, y'all. So we know Vivian currently lives, or lived, as she is now deceased, at 1 Maple Drive in Painscreek. She was discovered at 7:15 a.m. by her maid, Mary Martinez, and her time of death was between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. on July 19th or July 20th. Main suspect currently is the pastor's son, Scott Brooks. He was the last person to see Vivian alive, and he was seen basically running, back to his cabin by somebody who wishes to remain anonymous. He was fired from the household staff of the Charles family 6 months prior to Vivian's murder for quote-unquote tardiness and rebellious behavior. So, very good motive, but we're going to see what's going on there. Also, we learned during the course of play that he was dating the Roberts' daughter, Trisha. So, also could be another motive for Vivian's death. We discovered a few other people who are in the town. Just to let everybody know that the game doesn't hold your hand, so there's no like objectives or goals or anything that like holds your hand trying to show you like where clues are or where to find them. You have to just kind of do it yourself. And in the course of doing that, we discovered a few things. So there is a gentleman named Stephen who is residing at Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites, and he has a package that was either sent to or from the sheriff, and he is past due on his rent, considering the town is now a ghost town and everybody left in 1996 or 1998 between those 2 year span. We're going to assume that something happened to prevent him from coming back to the room, but we don't know that for sure. We believe that Stephen may be a private investigator due to some clues that were given, one, in the brief from our editor-in-chief, and two, from like random things that we have seen or heard during the course of our research so far. Okay, so we now know that Stephen was residing at the courtyard. Trisha is Vivian's daughter, was dating Scott Brooks, and the sheriff is James Howard. There was quite a few people who were on house staff. We don't know what their last names are yet, so we've got a few people. We've got the butler named Bernard, we've got a head servant named Dorothy, we've got a maid named Mary Martinez. We actually know her last name because it was in a newspaper article. We have the chauffeur named Derek, and we have his mother named Wanda, and we don't know how that's going to play out in the course of the story. And we know that Vivian Roberts was an event coordinator for a fall festival and responsible for a foundation called the Roberts Relief Foundation, which was funding various things for the town's needs, and that includes things like the community hospital. We know that there are a few other things, just based on like random messages and things that we saw in the mansion so far, which we have not explored all of, so we're about to get into that. We also know that the hospital was closed for potentially embezzlement. We're not entirely sure. It may have played a factor, according to a newspaper article that was written by one Jonathan Walker in the Painscreek Herald. And we know that 20 years prior to the events of this cold case, being Vivian's murder, there was some sort of loss of life event in the town, which they are holding a commemorative service for. We don't know what that is yet. We'll find out. Also, I think we're looking for a Slim Jim. There was a passage highlighted on a piece of paper that was posted at the Inn and Suites. So I'm thinking that we are looking for a Slim Jim to try to get into some of these cars that we saw in the town that are locked. We found a couple of things, like there was Mrs. Patterson apparently has a key to Oliver Gibson's photo lab, and he is currently out of town. I guess that's permanent. He borrowed a toolbox and a shovel, and it is in the photo lab. So first off, I don't know who Mrs. Patterson is, but on the late rent notice, it was signed Rosalie P. So I am assuming that she is the proprietor of Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites. There was a ball cap found in room 202, not sure if that's important. And there is a Dr. Henry Johnson of the Painscreek Community Hospital. Per a newspaper article we found, he is dead. He was last confirmed seen at the hospital on June 28th, 1995. So, we're going to dig into this and see if we can't figure out more about that as well. There is also a missing persons case for a boy who was last seen in 1989. So even before then, we had some people who were hit or miss. They were deaths and missing persons even before Vivian died. We also know that the house staff supported food at the church per a sticky note that we found in the kitchen, and that it said if they are bringing food to the church, that to use the key under the flower pot on the grounds and to unlock and relock the door at the church. So we know that the key for the church is under a flower pot. We just got to figure out which flower pot where. And we also found a mansion key in the kitchen, so we don't know what room that goes to at this point in time. With that said, we've now gone through all of the information that we gathered last time, the super quick recap, and let's go ahead and get into tonight. We're loading up now, and we're going to be on the bottom floor of the mansion, as you can see, and we're going to continue our research. We have gone through this main sitting room, the dining room, and the kitchen so far. So now we're going to go down this pathway that is to our left, and then we will go back and investigate the other pathway towards the entrance to the main entrance of the mansion, and then we will make our trek upstairs. Looks like a laundry room. I wonder if there's anything of note in here. Oh, it looks like a diary of one Mary Martinez has just been found. Let's go ahead and read it. I've been here for almost 3 months. Everyone treats me well. Most of the workers have been here for a long time, some as long as 30 years. Dorothy is probably the oldest maid here, and she's really nice and responsible for taking care of all the maids. She's always giving me snacks. The other oldest worker is probably Bernard the butler. He's so serious, I don't think I've ever seen him smile. Entry from May 24th, 1993. So we know that Dorothy has been with the family for quite some time, and so has Bernard. Dorothy and Bernard don't talk much to each other, however, they are perfect when it comes to attending Charles and Vivian's needs. I guess that's why they are in charge here. I notice Charles and Vivian are never together much, either. Even when they are both at home, they don't seem happy what's going on. This was a full 2 years prior to her murder. Vivian was passing by when I broke the vase. I must have really been nervous because I stood there for God knows how long. I thought she would scold me or even fire me instead. Vivian invited me to have tea with her. She asked about my parents and what I wanted to do in the future. I told her I hoped to open my own deli someday. She said I could do anything if I set my mind on it and work really hard. Like me, she used to be poor. Now she's a successful businesswoman. I hope to be like her someday. Wanda is sick. I've heard she has cancer. It's been 2 months since I took over for her. Her son Derek stays with her whenever he's not driving for Charles. I feel sorry for them. Luckily, Mr. Roberts helps with their financial needs. I pray she gets well soon. So now we know that Wanda used to be a maid in the household as well, which is probably how Bernard got his job. Andrew shouted at me for walking on the grass, though I was sure I didn't step on it this time. He's always drunk anyways. Scott told me to ignore him. I'm not sure how he could be so patient, always taking care of Andrew and covering his workload. I would have assumed that Scott was Andrew's son if I had not known that Father Matthew adopted him years ago. He's so nice and talented, not to mention handsome. If only he wasn't taken. Okay, so we know 2 years prior to the murder, Tricia and him were already seeing one another. We also now know that he was adopted by Father Matthew. He's not Father Matthew's biological son. And that there is somebody else working at the household who was named Andrew. To-do list. Nice. Laundry duty. Clean out the attic, water plants, book Mrs. Roberts' appointment, and wash the windows. Actually, let's take a picture of that. For those joining in, yes, this game allows you to take pictures of random things you find so that you can keep track of them throughout the course of your investigation. So by pressing P, we can come back to all of the things that we've taken pictures of, like the church being locked and the key under the flower pot, as well as like little shopping lists and letters that were discovered during the course of our investigation as well can be stored here. Also, we have an inventory, so you can see we've got a couple of keys here, a camera, and the mission and goals that were given to us by our editor-in-chief. And last but not least, we have our journal, which includes the diaries we have picked up, newspaper articles we found, and letters and documents that we have discovered as well. Looks like there's nothing more here, so let's go ahead and take a look. Here is that door that leads out into the courtyard and across to the garage, but we know for a fact the door of the garage is actually barred from the inside, so we have to find another way over. Well, it's locked. So I wonder if that key that we picked up will work here. Not that one, it was this one. Nope, it doesn't work. Okay, so we gotta find what room that goes to. Let's continue looking. It's just a room to stairs. Okay, well, let's continue going downstairs. Oh, light switch. I wonder if it works. It does. So, light switches are hit or miss in this game. I found a handful that work, but only a handful. Looks like an art gallery. Well, that's fancy. Wonder if it's the real one or a replica. We got a Monet. That's nice. Ooh, another diary. This one is Charles Roberts. Let's go ahead and read this. March 14th, 1993. We went hunting this afternoon. Scott's quite a fast learner and has good manners, too. I told him to call me Charles, but he kept saying it was more appropriate to call me Mr. Roberts. He almost got the deer on his second try. If this keeps up, I'll take him over Bernard as my hunting partner. June 11th, 1993. Trisha's been rather obvious in her interests. He's a good-looking young man and respectful to others. I don't mind his status. There's nothing wrong with being an orphan. If there is, it's the parents' fault. I know that Trisha fancies him, and I've grown to like him too. So now we know that Charles actually took a liking to Scott, potentially, choosing him as a viable partner for Trisha, and was okay with Trisha seeing him. So there was something earlier that we discovered at the sheriff's office which contradicted this. It was saying that Vivian didn't want Trisha to be seeing Scott. Today is Mom's death anniversary. It's been 18 years since she passed away. I paid my respects at her tombstone. Vivian wasn't feeling well and chose not to come, so I asked Scott to accompany me. He brought fresh lilies. He said lilies suggest that the soul of the deceased has returned to a peaceful state. Sometimes I feel like he's a son to me. Now that I think about it, Vivian is always getting sick during this time of year. So now I can probably assume that Vivian did not like her mother-in-law, and that she died August 27th. Not sure what year, but we at least know that she died August 27th. And that there is a tombstone potentially in the cemetery, which we do have a key code to get into. September 8th, 1993. I knew our relationship would not be as close as we had it, but ever since Vivian discovered my affair... Oh great, so he had an affair. Well, that's not motive to kill somebody. She hasn't been the same. She once joked to her friends during a dinner that all politicians are alike, and as a politician's wife, she has learned to close one eye. Sometimes I feel sorry for her. I think it was because of Trisha that she didn't leave me. But she is a good wife and a good mother. I'm grateful for that. So now we know Charles had indiscretions. Maybe that led to Vivian's demise. Let's go back and explore the other part of the downstairs, and then we'll move to the upstairs. Okay, this is the last hallway to explore before going upstairs. Ooh, a map to the second floor. Okay, so we have the attic, we have security, and there's a stairwell. Okay, so I'm assuming this stairwell is the one that we saw at the other end of the downstairs when we were going towards the laundry room. So I am going to guess that the attic is over the garage. We've got Dorothy's room, a bar, tea room, Trisha's room, a balcony, another balcony, a guest room, a maid room, bathroom, and an exercise room. So let's go ahead and take a gander at our maps because we do have those as well in the game. Okay, so now we have mansion, second floor map, and the Painscreek map. The Painscreek proper map. Okay, let's do a quick once over in here, and then we will collect our thoughts and our notes and move on to the second floor. Well, and that door at the end. So not much to see here. Let's try the room at the end and then go from there. Great! It's a locked entry. Okay, so I guess dates? Oh goodness. So let's try 8/27/93. No. Not sure what the code could be, so we'll try again later once we get some more clues. Let's go ahead and head upstairs. Of course, Trisha's room is locked. It looks like we've got a balcony over here. Let's see if we can't get out to that. Notes for Vivian's tea schedule. Tea time is 3:20 on the dot. Use the flower pattern cup for Mondays. Gold line cups for guests. Use a half a cup of milk. Always leave sugar on the side and never interrupt unless she calls for you. Okay, and signed by M. So most of these notes are signed by M. I'm assuming that it is Mary Martinez who is leaving these notes around. Another note. Again, to-do list, laundry duty, clean out the attic, water the plants, book Mrs. Roberts' appointment, and wash the windows. So, again, also from Mary Martinez, is what I'm assuming. Some sort of artwork of a mansion, I'm assuming? Locked. You know, we didn't try the key on Trisha's room, but let's try the key here and see if it works. No, it is not for the tea room. Okay, let's find another room where it could actually go in. A sheet to count scores, it says. Looks like we got a bar. Lots of wine. Let's walk around and see if there's anything interesting on the other side. Oh, here we go. March 3rd, 1993. 20 years later, Painscreek still honors the lives of coal mine workers. So that's what happened 20 years in the past. Incident that would forever be remembered by the villagers of Painscreek. Despite shock and pain, it was a tragedy that united everyone. By Jonathan Walker, again of the Painscreek Herald. 20 years ago, 6 members of this village, together with 13 others from the towns of Hillsdale and Old Creek. Wow, okay, so it didn't say how many from this town, but 13 others from other towns, so I'm going to assume it was more than 13 from this town. Just guessing. Perished in one of the coal mine demolition programs. The coal mine belonged to the Roberts Mining Company. Vivian Roberts, who had just married into the Roberts family, started a fundraising event that raised $96,000, contributing $24,000 from her own company. A total of $120,000 was compensated to the 6 families. So that's not a lot. We're talking like more than 13 people dying, so 120,000 split potentially 20 or more ways. But at least it's something, I guess. We do know now that the Roberts family apparently owned a mining company, and Vivian Roberts had just married into the family at the time that the tragedy occurred, which would have been 1973. This is a very small sum compared to what those families lost, and no amount of money can replace their loved ones, Vivian told to the press. What we can do, however, is provide them with whatever help they may need, and for those who have helped financially, the Roberts family thanks you. The words not only comforted those families, yada yada yada, we don't have page 5. I'm sorry, Thomas, I must have forgotten to check inventory. Apparently we're missing a case of Da Vinci's. Please don't tell Mrs. Roberts. So we're missing a case of wine. There is like a random case of wine out in the garden. Maybe that's the missing case. A case of Da Vinci wine. Okay, so not much here other than we now know that there is a missing case of wine, and that the tragic incident occurred in 1973. So let's go ahead and just take a quick moment to jot that down in our notes. Okay, so the events occurred March 3rd, 1973. From the Roberts Mining Company, we know it was more than 13 people dead, at least. And while I'm here, push to talk issues again. I just want to let everybody know who is listening in that there is a Discord server. If you want to talk to me while we go through the game and watch what's going on, feel free to join in anytime. And yeah, we'll go from there. Getting back to the game. Another locked door. I wonder if this can be unlocked with our mansion key. No. I forgot to return the servant room's key in time, so I left the key in the kitchen drawer. Sorry about that. Aha. So this is the room that the key goes to. Ooh, we now have access to the servant quarters. Let's take a quick look inside. I need to report Scott to Bernard. His suspicious acts are getting out of hand. Today I saw him peeking into Mr. and Mrs. Roberts' room from the window. He's been told many times now not to do this. So the main room, I think, is on the first floor, because it's not in the second floor map. And that would be like the most opportune place to peek in a window from. So I wonder if we can peek in the window and see something. And again, that's Mary. Let's see. Nothing in the cupboard. What else can we find? Oh, we got an old CRT TV. Ooh, another diary, again from Mary Martinez. So let's go ahead and read this. Oh, this one's from 95, so 2 years in the future from her last diary. She was cleaning the mansion attic today when I found Derek and Wanda's old stuff. I asked Derek about it, and he told me he used to live here with his mom until he was about 6. We chatted for like an hour. I've never talked to him that much. It felt quite nice talking with him, rather relaxing. March 3rd. I had to interact with Bernard today. His left wrist was swollen pretty badly. When I asked what happened, he claimed he fell during a rock climbing and twisted his left hand so he can't help with writing the Easter invitations. I told him he only needs his right hand for writing. He looked at me as if I was joking. How could I have known that he was left-handed? Okay, so Bernard apparently injured himself sometime during March 3rd, or before, the year that Vivian was killed. Not sure what caused the injury. He claimed it was during rock climbing. Maybe that was it. But we'll look and see if we can't find any more information. April 17th, Dorothy asked me to help clean the house tomorrow, or clean her house tomorrow. I didn't know she has her own place. I thought she lived with the Roberts family in the nanny's room. She said she hasn't used the house for the past few months, but it needs to be taken care of every now and then. She'll be 60 this year. I think I should help her. The address is 40 Black Pine Road, Painscreek. So now we know Dorothy had a house, and it is 40 Black Pine Road. So I am going to go ahead and write that in our notes as well. Okay. Next entry, May 29th, 1995. Trisha and Vivian had an argument during dinner. Vivian is thinking to send Trisha to college, but Trisha wants to be with Scott. She is not thinking straight. June 1st. I was about to clean the gallery when I noticed the door was already slightly open. I looked inside and saw Mr. Roberts standing in front of a painting. Right before he left, I heard a faint click. As he was leaving the gallery, I hid in the staircase hallway. When I was sure that he was gone, I went into the gallery to see what he was so entranced by. It's just a painting of an old woman with a white headband. I wonder what's so interesting about this lady. Okay, so that was, going back through the paintings. I think there was a couple of paintings of old ladies. We'll just have to go and research. June 11th, there will be a grand party to celebrate Trisha's birthday this evening. She'll officially be 21 years old. So Trisha was born June 11th, 1975. Let me write that in the notes too. If you're just joining in, just as a reminder, this game doesn't hold your hand, so basically you have to copy down anything that you think will be important later to solve the case. Okay, so we know Trisha was born June 11th, 1975, and that is after the events that took place 20 years prior, in 1973. So that's 2 years after the tragic event at the mining incident. And the last entry, July 12th, 1995. Dr. Johnson is dead. He was the head of Painscreek Community Hospital, as well as the Roberts family doctor. The police came by and asked if Vivian would be willing to go down to the station for another interview. I was nervous, but Vivian was very calm and accepted their request. She came back in the evening and assured us that everything was okay. She had nothing to do with Dr. Johnson's death. His death was purely an accident. So now we know the guy who drowned and was in the water for like 10 to 15 days before he was discovered and died prior to Vivian being killed was the community hospital's lead doctor as well as the family doctor for the Roberts family. So potentially this could be intertwined with Vivian's death in some way or form. Oh, here we go. I was cleaning Mrs. Roberts' tea room when I stumbled across a pile of letters full of negative comments addressed to her. Why on earth does she keep those letters? She more than anybody in this town doesn't deserve to be attacked by these faceless cowards. These people can't see the positive impact she has made for this community. It's not her fault that her business deals can't please everyone. Again, signed M, so we now know that Vivian has a stack of hate mail in her tea room, so let's see if we can't find a way in there. Yet another locked door. We'll have to see if we can't find a way in. Okay, it looks like we've got some sort of workout schedule because this is a gym of some sort. Morning on Sunday we got Bernard, afternoon Derek, and at night Trisha. Monday and Tuesday it looks like we have Bernard in the afternoon and evening, Charles in the evening Wednesday, in the morning on Thursday, and Vivian in the afternoon on Friday. And we've got some lockers here too. Let's go see if they're open and if we can find anything. Some sort of key, and this is from Bernard's locker? Yes, Bernard's locker. Nothing in Charles's locker. Nothing in Derek's locker. That's an annoying sound, by the way. Nothing in Trisha's. And nothing in Vivian's locker. So let's do a quick once over in here and then see what we can find. Okay, this leads downstairs, so let's stay upstairs for a second and finish investigating up there, and then we'll come back downstairs. Nothing on this patio, and we've already looked at the bar, so let's go this way towards, I think what they said was the attic and security room. So I have no clue what that's going to be. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6-digit code. Let's just try the incident that happened, or maybe somebody's birthday. Darn them for using passwords that make sense. Okay, so neither of those dates worked. We'll come back to that. So, just a quick update. The reason I keep like staring out these windows is because in the previous playthrough, there was like this creepy lady wearing black just randomly standing like far away from the camera, and I took a picture of her. Let me pull that up for you guys. There she is. And like when I looked away from the gate, she disappeared, and then when I looked back, like, you know, I looked away and looked back and she was gone. So, not sure what's going on there, if it's a ghost or whatever. I can confirm it's not Vivian, because Vivian has blonde hair. So, or at least probably not Vivian. Okay, looks like everything up here is locked. We've already been to the other side, and as you can see here, we are now in this little ante-room. We have already been to Trisha's room. We know it's locked. We checked the balcony there. We checked the balcony here. We can't get into the guest room. We can't get into the bathroom. Exercise room is open. And we were in the maid room just a moment ago, and Dorothy's room is also locked. So we have now thoroughly investigated what we have a key for. Except for Bernard had a key in his locker. Let's take a look at our inventory and see what that was for. Ah, it's a house entrance key. Found it in one of the lockers in the mansion. So Bernard has a key for a house, but we don't know where Bernard lives, or at least I don't think we do. Let me consult the notes real quick. If you're watching, thank you for watching. Sorry, again, push to talk issues. I keep forgetting that I have to push a button to make it talk. It is what it is. Okay, right now, the only place that I know that we have a valid point of entry for, other than the church and the cemetery, is a house on 7 Black Pine Road. That was the first key in the inventory that we discovered. And that is that key right there, which was found at the receptionist's desks at Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites. So we can do one of two things now that we've investigated the whole mansion. We can either go to this house, or we can go to the church, which we know Father Matthew was the adopted son of the main suspect, Scott Brooks. Any advice what you guys would like to go to next, or should I just pick one and go? I am not seeing anything in chat, so I am just going to pick one and go with it. Let's go ahead and go to the church. Pull up the map real quick and see where the church is. So we are here at the mayor's mansion, and it looks like the Painscreek Trinity Church is down Silver Lake Boulevard. So let's come down Maple to Silver Lake and take it all the way down towards the cemetery. Maybe we'll find something on the way. We've got another car. I wonder if this one also has anything in it like the one up at the courtyard. Let's see. Well, I don't see anything in its seats, so we'll just move on. It Stevie's Barbershop. I wonder if that's locked. Yes, it's locked. Let's move on. The truth shall set you free. Sunday Mass at 8 a.m. Bible study Friday 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Okay. Figured that gate would be locked. Oh, here's another car. Let's take a look-see in here and see if it's open. Negative Ghost Rider. That is not open, but there's the cemetery. I know for a fact that we have the code for that, so we can get in there. Oh, it's already been unlocked by somebody. Does that mean there's somebody else here? Or... well, I honestly don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Looks like this part of the cemetery is closed off. No creepy women looking around the cemetery. Yep, no creepy women in black. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these tombstones. So here's another person who died in 1995. Andrew Reed. So there was an Andrew who worked for the Roberts family. Let's go ahead and mark that down in our notes, just in case it's important. Christopher Burke. Here lies a man whose wisdom flowed from rivers. Died in 1984 at the age of 74. Raymond Brown also died 1984 at the age of 74. Here is one Gary Roberts, rest in peace, 1928 to 1989. I wonder if he's related to the Roberts family at all. Let's go ahead and take a picture just in case it's important. Yeah, and my husband says, by the way, never trust a Gary. I can confirm this is true. Never trust a person named Gary. There's the doctor's grave, also, like I said, in 1995. There's Wanda Tyler. I wonder if that's the Wanda who is related to Derek the chauffeur, who used to be a maid. We'll find out. Let's take a picture of it just in case it's relevant. Here is one Magdalene Roberts. I am going to assume that this person is also related to the Roberts family. The date of death is 1975, which is also the date of death of Charles Roberts' mother. So maybe this is her grave. We'll find out. Again, you might see me looking in like nooks and crannies for a random black-haired lady in a black dress, because It was creepy AF. Here we have some more Trisha Roberts. That's the Roberts daughter. When did she die? Well, let's look at this one first. Sarah Goldberg. Oh, she died in 1995 as well. It says she was born in 1974. So that would be 21, yeah. Let's take a picture of this because I didn't know she was dead in the same year as her mother, too. I wonder how long after. Here's Vivian's grave. Let's take a picture of that, too, just in case it's important. Ian Goldbert, 1979. Susie Whitman, 1969. Jonathan and Victoria Hopkins, one in 73, one in 91. John Hopkins. A Pamela Fields and Scott Brooks, as in the main suspect, Scott Brooks? So he also died in 1995. This is the only grave that actually has the full dates, which might come in important. Let's keep that in mind for when we update the notes next. Jesse Elliott, Marissa Young, Calvin Bennett, Philip Young, and there's an unmarked grave over there. With fresh flowers, might I add. Somebody else is here. Or, I think somebody else is here? Maybe that woman in black wasn't a ghost. Maybe she's actually a person. We'll find out. So here's a house in front of the church. That one's boarded up. But this one looks like it could be opened. I wonder if the key we found in Bernard's thing will open it? There's only one way to find out. Well, considering it won't let me use the key to try to unlock it, I'm assuming we just can't get into that house. Per our notes, there is a key under one of these flower pots somewhere. Apparently it's not those three. Let's look on the other side and see if there's more. Well, that sure looks like a key. Okay, so let's store that and go from there. Can't use it on this door, maybe it's just the main door. So while we're waiting on this to load, how is everybody today, all three of you, on this lovely evening? Oh, look. Church will be closed for the funeral of Andrew Reed, June 19th, 1995. That is 1 month prior to Vivian dying. So we know Andrew could not have murdered her. Need a handyman? Have odd jobs that you need done by a dependable, experienced, friendly guy? Scott Brooks is your man. Look at that clip art. So, we can assume, because he was out of a job for 6 months from working for the Roberts, that he was getting by on odd jobs. Hubby says, the short guy with the hat? Yes, that's exactly who I mean. The short guy with the hat who threw his bowler cap and, knocked heads of statues and stuff off. Oliver's photography, taking your favorite moments in time and holding them still. More than 50 years of experience. I'm assuming this means Oliver Gibson is fairly an older gentleman. There's no tombstone for him, so I'm going to assume he never returned to the town. And you can see that the photo log, which we already have the address for, is 5 Walnut Avenue, Painscreek. But we'll take a picture of this, just in case it comes in handy. Okay, Pastor Matthew Brooks. We already knew he went by Father Matthew, and now we know that his last name is indeed Brooks, because why wouldn't it be? He was the adopted father of Scott Brooks, so it would make sense that his last name is Brooks. Yet another place where the light switches don't work. Wonderful. Mansion worker Andrew Reed's charred body found in his burnt home. Oh my god. So that's what happened to Andrew Reed. Well, that sucks. Body covered with third-degree burns by Heather Ono. So this is a new, journalist. At around 11:25 p.m. last night, fire broke out on 7 Black Pine Road. Okay, so the key that we have, according to the piece of paper that was with it, was for 7 Black Pine Road. So now we know Andrew Reed lived at 7 Black Pine Road, and he was killed June the 6th at 11:25 p.m. Well then, that's a new one. He was found deceased with third-degree burns from head to toe. He was seated on the couch in the living room next to the fireplace when the fire likely started. Cause of the fire has not yet been determined, but the sight of alcoholic bottles on the floor suggests that the carpet may have been soaked and helped increase whatever set the incident off. According to possible witnesses, Andrew was seen drunk last night when he was leaving Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites. Police found bottles of empty vodka in the living room next to the fireplace. No foul play is detected at this moment. Andrew Reed, a gardener and handyman for the Roberts family for more than 2 decades, has a wife and a son. Okay, so we now know he has a wife and a son. He died in what may be arson, but was not ruled as arson. And he died just like the doctor shortly before Vivian Roberts' murder. So, timeline, Andrew Roberts dies in a burning accident. The doctor, James Howard, was found drowned, last seen June 28th. And then we have July 19th, Vivian is murdered. So 3 incidents that may be interconnected, all within the span of just a month or so. Interesting. Very interesting. Wonder if it's all related. Oh hey, another mag light. Hey, guess what? I've already got a mag light, and it's going to tell me I already have one, so no use in doing anything there. We have seen the Holy Bible in various places, and that's the only thing I can interact with here. Let's go ahead and finish investigating downstairs, and then we'll head upstairs into the church. Good thing the light works in here. Let's take a look at some of these rooms. Well, the storage closet's locked. Let's check in this area, which looks kind of like a kitchen dining room thing. I will stay at the cabin tonight. I don't need dinner. Scott. Okay. Well, I don't know what day that was, but that might come in handy or be important, so let's take a picture of it. That lovely Clorox bleach smell. So nothing in there. So nothing of worth in there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next area in the church. Ooh, a basement. I wonder if it's got anything down there. Okay, it says it's an exit, but it is locked. So, I guess we gotta find another entrance. Looks here like we've got a confessional. Oh. There is a numerical lock here with a 6-digit combination. I don't have any numbers that I've seen at the church to try to use, so I am going to refrain from trying anything other than what's shown there and see what the other side looks like. Same thing, another numerical lock. So again, I don't know what the code is. Hopefully we can find something that'll tell us or give us a hint when we're looking through the rest of the church. So now we need to go upstairs. This looks like a little boy's bedroom. I wonder if this was Scott's room. May 3rd, 1985. Well, that might come in handy on this little toy plane. What else have we got here? We got some books. Ooh, a diary. It says Scott on the front, so let's go ahead and read this. Saturday, April 6, 1985. Father Matthew picked me up from the orphanage today. He said I'll be staying with him from now on and I can call him Dad if that's okay with me. On Monday, he will bring me to sign something. He says that after the signing, my name is not just Scott, but Scott Brooks. I am so glad I now have a home. May 3rd, 1985. Father Matthew brought me to the attic today. There are so many wooden toys, and he made them all himself. He asked me to choose one that I liked. I chose the toy plane. It looked so cool. He says he can teach me carpentry when I'm a bit older. He even made a secret space for me in my room so that I can put my special treasures inside. I love Father Matthew. So, we know that Scott was an orphan. We've had other clues that have told us that. So we can see here that he apparently liked living, at least as a child, with Father Matthew. Let's see. June 6th. Older boys are always bullying me. They called me a bastard child and a weirdo. Well, that sucks. They said that's why my own parents didn't want me. What does bastard mean? Sunday, June 23rd, 1985. Father Matthew says I should be patient, but they threw stones at me. Father Matthew cleaned my wounds. It's painful. Father Matthew told me to forgive and forget. He said they don't know what they're doing. I like Father Matthew, but I hate the boys. July 12th, 1985. Trisha defended me today. The boys walked away when she said her dad is going to catch them and put them in jail. I want to be like Trisha's father. I want to be the next Charles Roberts. That way no one will ever bully me. Sunday, September 15th, 1985. Derek is always there whenever Trisha invites me to play. He's 5 years older than me. He's like her bodyguard or something like that, and he's really good at drawing. He gave me one of his drawings today. He says he only gives drawings to friends. I wish I could draw like him. Maybe I can make a wooden toy car for his next birthday. So we now know that he was hanging out with Trisha from the year he was adopted onward, and that they formed a relationship and started dating. 1995, Trisha was 21, so I am going to assume that if Scott is around the same age, he would have been, 11 when he wrote this? Okay, nothing more there. So, there's a calendar. Let's take a look at that. And, there's a secret space somewhere in here, supposedly, according to the diary. Well, there's a plane. And those are planes. I wonder if that has something to do with it. Yes! Okay. Goodness, it's locked. 4-digit combination. 5385? Yep. So the date on the bottom of the plane was relevant. It was the combination for that. Now let's see. Let's meet at our secret hideout at 5 p.m. Code changed to 8831. Trisha. So I remember in Mary Martinez's journal something about they were hanging around in the garden or the shed or something. So there is a padlock on the shed at the mansion. I'm going to guess that this is the code to get in there. Let me take a picture of that. just in case. It comes in handy. Then we've got, what is this? Another diary. So let's go ahead and read it. This one is from 5 years after. So it says, Mr. Peterson passed away at the age of 81. Everyone attended his funeral today. He was buried next to Mrs. Peterson. Population of Painscreek is decreasing. Old people are dying. Young people aren't coming back after college. Will I stay in Painscreek till I am old? And will I die like Mr. Peterson? Will there be anyone left at that point? So we now know this is 5 years before he passes away, which is kind of foreshadowing or something. I don't know. Thursday, April 22nd, 1990. Trisha talks a lot to me recently. I feel comfortable whenever she's around. I can be myself in front of her. She makes me happy. May 14th. Father Matthew tells me it's important to have goals in life. I wonder what life goal I should have. I wonder what Father Matthew's goal is. May 18th, 1990. It's been a few months since Derek got hired by Trisha's dad to be the mansion driver. He gets to travel around the world now. I envy him. I want to work too, so that I can buy something nice for Trisha. So we know that Derek is 5 years older than Scott, and if he was 11 in 1985, that would have put Derek at 16. It's been 5 years, which means Derek is 21. So he got hired on to be a full-time chauffeur and travel around the world at 21. Talk about, like, you know, making something of yourself there. Let's see. May 20th, 1990. There's a secret room in the mansion? I can't believe it. I can't wait till Saturday to explore it with Trisha. Oh, a secret room, eh? That's getting picture taken. I wonder where that is. And we've got some sort of ball signed by Keith Holland. And we know that Kevin Holland. We know that he liked Kevin Holland, so that makes sense. Okay, it looks like 1993, Scott moved out. So I am going to say if he was 16 in 1990, that would have put him at 19 in 1993, theoretically, assuming that he's the same age as Trisha. So he packed up on September the 2nd, moved out September the 4th, and he met Trisha on September the 17th. And this would have been 2 years prior to the events of the cold case murder of Vivian Roberts, Andrew Reed's death, and James Howard's death. So now we've got a code for the backyard in the mansion, and I have a key to what we now know is Andrew Reed's house on 7 Black Pine Road. So let's first try to get to that location, because I think I'm closer when I look at the map, because this is Black Pine Road here. We're here, so I think I can just come up Clover Street and get back to Black Pine Road, and we'll have to figure out where on the road it is. I know that the sheriff's outpost is number 1, so I am going to assume that number 7 is somewhere in this portion of the road. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, what am I doing? We still have a little bit left to explore here. Let's look at that first. Ah, this must be Father Matthew's study. That would make sense for a priest to have his own study. Oh, the lights work in here, so I don't need my flashlight. Let's take a quick look around. Tommy and Grizzle by J.M. Barrie. I'm assuming that is supposed to be something else, and they just changed some of the names. Like, you got William Shakespeare. So, I'm going to assume that these are all just names that have been changed. But there we have The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. So, I mean, maybe not. Okay, so we now know that the previous father was Father Calvin. Final court appearance in 1995, October. I am going to assume that this is for the court appearance regarding Vivian's murder and Scott's, involvement with it. We do know that Scott died on November 1st, which is like just a few weeks after, but let's take a picture of this and see what we can find out about it. I returned the tools back to the storage room. Okay. There is a key. I'm assuming that is the key to the storage room. So we'll go and open that in a moment. Let's finish here. Okay, another 5-digit lock. I'm going to try the same one. Nope, that does not work. I don't know of another date that has anything to do with the father to try to open this, so I guess we'll just come back. Oh, here we go. Scott Brooke pleads not guilty to killing ex-mayor's wife, Vivian Roberts. The main murder suspect denies killing former employer. Scott Brooks, the adopted son of Father Matthew Brooks of Painscreek Trinity Church, pled not guilty in court yesterday, according to Scott. He met with Vivian in the woods that night, but went home after their meeting and did not step out of his cabin for days. When he left her, Vivian was still alive. When asked why he met with Vivian, Scott's answer was that they met to discuss about personal matters, and it was only between the two of them. Scott denied further questioning, stating that he had nothing to do with Vivian's murder, that whoever killed Vivian must have committed the crime after he had left. As to why Scott was at the cabin for days after Vivian was killed, Scott explained that he did not even know that Vivian had been murdered. Staying at the cabin is just something he has always done, that he feels at ease while at home. Scott is currently detained in the county jail. No bail has been set for his release at this point. Well, that's eerie. Let's see what else we can find in here before we head out. Is that the last one? No, that was the last one. Okay, so let's go ahead and go down to the storage place after investigating the rest of the upstairs. Well, drats, that's locked. Aw, heck yeah, team. Remember, in the last stream, I said that we potentially needed to get a Slim Jim because there was mention of it in the Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites. Well, now we have a Slim Jim. We can go and open things. Ooh, there's a trunk here. It is locked. It says Scott's Things. Scott's Things. It's got a padlock. I don't know where another key is. Maybe it's somewhere where Scott was, like in the cabin, or in Trisha in his meeting room or something like that, because we've already looked at his former bedroom and did not find it. So we have been streaming about an hour and 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. Going to go and write some notes, and then we will take a quick hydration break. Okay, I think we captured most of what was rolling around in my head. So we're going to go ahead and take a super quick break. I will go ahead and trigger the be right back warning, and we will give it a 5 minute or so chance for everybody to, I guess, get a drink, get some food, and come right back. Please feel free to join us in Discord. If you're not a follower, please consider following. And I will be trying to do this at least maybe once or twice a week. We'll see how it works out. And we're back. So, I hope everybody had a nice break, and we can go ahead and just quickly review a few things. So, we know that Trisha and Scott are dead, Andrew is dead, and the doctor is dead. We don't know about Charles, so I'm going to assume he's still alive, but there's a very good chance, y'all, that all of this is related to everything. Like, it's probably all interconnected. Or that could just be the conspiracy theorist to me. I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead, and we said we were going to go down to Andrew's house and review what's going on there. Okay, so just as a reminder, that is 7 Black Pine Road. Okay, here is Clover Street. This is Silver Lake, so we're going to turn on the Clover, and that should bring us back to Black Pine. There's an open gate. I kind of want to know where it goes, even though I know that I've got to get back up there to the car also, because we've got a Slim Jim now. But I'm going to explore this open gate just to see where it goes. Looks like there's just like a row of houses back here. Let's go back out to the main entry. Check out the car at Anne's Courtyard and Suites, because I think that is related to Steven, the guy who never checked out from room 201, who we think is the private investigator, because there's something sitting on the front seat of the car. So let's check that out, and then we will go to 7 Black Pine Road. Okay, here we are, back at Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites. This is from the gameplay yesterday. Oh, I had my flashlight again, everybody, in bright daylight. That's super smart. Yeah, that definitely works. Okay, so we're going to try to find where on Black Pine number 7 is, but first we've got to get into this car. Well, that was easy. Apparently my journalist character is very well versed. So let's take a look. Okay, so yes, Steven is indeed a PI. Private Investigator License, member of Worldwide Private Investigators Union. Steven Moss from 2335 Shone Avenue, New York City. So he's a long way from home. It expires in 1/15/2001. It was issued on 1/15/96. So we know that he was staying in the Inn and Suites sometime between 96 and 99. So that's good to know. It's a journal. Let's read it. 3/26/97. Okay, so he came here in 97. The investigation progress is slow. I've tried to reach people, but many of them have left Painscreek, and those who still remain are starting to move out. I found some evidence showing that things aren't what they seem. The media did not have it right. I need to interview some people who worked at the mansion. I've been too wary and haven't reached out yet. Matthew seems to be Scott's legal parent, still won't talk to him yet. I'll have to visit St. Patrick's Orphanage tomorrow. It's a day's drive from here. I know Scott found something there. There's something not quite right with all of this. So this kind of confirms our suspicions. Like there's something else going on that maybe it's not Scott, but there's something else. So, one, Charles had an affair. Don't know who with, don't know why. Vivian's been receiving hate mail. There was some sort of like loss of life event in 1973. We know that Robert's mining company was involved with the incident that occurred then. We do know that Andrew Reed, the doctor, and Vivian all died within like 2 months of one another. So maybe it is, like he says, more than what the media is letting on. Let's take a look. 3/30/97, Vivian married Charles in 71. After the marriage, she became vice president of Robert's mining company. It went into a slump after the mining accident in 73, but her resilience to not give up led to her rebuilding the company from the ground up. She supported local businesses, such as the Painscreek Community Hospital, to revitalize the small village. Looks like she was publicly very active. Too active? Question mark? She was taken to the Painscreek Community Hospital for an emergency operation in 1974. Tricia Roberts was born just before that. So Tricia was born in 1974, again making her 11 in 1985, when Scott's journal says that they were together. Vivian was hospitalized for a few months, and she was reliant on Dr. Henry Johnson during that period. Okay, so there is a connection, not just that he was the doctor of the, hospital that she was funding through the Roberts Relief Foundation, but also, they was the family doctor, but she was reliant on him heavily during this emergency operation in 1974. Security room 025241 for the mansion. Well, that's nice. Now we know the security room entry code for the mansion. Okay, any more information? To P.I. Steve Moss, I came across your name through a close friend of mine. She highly recommended you, saying you are a person of integrity and a very reliable investigator. So I would like for you to investigate the case which happened in 1995 in a town called Painscreek of the murder of Vivian Roberts. I was there when it happened. The body had been placed in front of the mansion gates for everyone to see. A few days later, Scott Brooks was apprehended as a suspect. However, there wasn't enough evidence and he was soon released. 18 months later, the police filed Vivian's case as unsolved. I've tried to forget everything, but I just can't. I simply want to know the truth. I have enclosed a copy of the threat letter that Vivian received the day she died. I hope it helps. For safety purposes, I would like to remain anonymous at this time. I will give you the first payment in good faith that you will agree to my offer. When the case is solved, I will pass you the rest of the payment. Sincerely, Anonymous. Okay, so an anonymous person tipped off that Andrew's house was on fire. An anonymous person tipped off that Scott was coming back from seeing Vivian. An anonymous person was just so happening diving to go fishing or something in the lake in which the doctor was found. So that's interesting. Also, we've got a few diaries. I wonder if this handwriting style meets up with any of those diaries. We'll find out in a second. I know what you did. Meet me by the well at midnight. You know which one. Come alone. Okay, so what well? I don't know. We'll find out. This was apparently the letter that was sent to Vivian the day she was murdered. And we've got a picture. Now, I do not know who she is. But she has black hair. Maybe that's the woman that we saw, the creepy one. The secret lies with her. Looks like there's something scratched out. Can't really make out what it is. I don't know, maybe that's just my imagination. It's just like the pattern on the back. I mean, she's very pretty. She's got long brownish black hair. Have no clue who she is, though. Secret lies with her, eh? Well, I don't know who she is. Let's go try to find number 7, and then we're going to go back to the mansion. Okay, is this one town center? Or one Black Pine? Because supposedly one Black Pine was the sheriff's office. We'll see. And that's 15. Oh, that's great. 1, 15, what are those? 16. What are those then? The numbering in this game makes no sense. So this is number 2. That's number 8. What kind of fucking sense does that make, fam? I'm just saying. Yeah, this makes more sense. Like, you got 8 and then 10, and then, like, this little courtyard between them. That makes sense, but to go from 2 to 8 with nothing in between is kind of silly. And this is 3. So 3, 2, 8, 10, 11. Does it wrap around the back? There's a gate over here. Let's go through that. Well, there are houses there. Let's go around and see if we can't find numbers. Hey, this is that open gate from Clover. Okay, so let's see what we can find over here. That's the 16. Not sure if that's Clover or if it's the Black Pine number. Guess that this is number 7 because it is definitely been caught on fire and has some yellow tape. I don't know why this is considered Black Pine Drive unless it really does just wrap around. So let's use the key and get in. Well, the lights don't work. Time to turn on the flashlight. Okay, so we know that there was a fire in here. Looks like that's probably the living room, since that was the really black part, and we know that he was found in the living room. So let's try looking around the rest of it first, and then we'll go there. Nothing in the kitchen. Let's go and explore this room right outside. This door is jammed, so I'm guessing that's not really important. Let's go ahead and go through that room to supposedly where Andrew died. It is definitely crunchy and sooty in here. Let's investigate this little safe and then we'll go upstairs. Let's go ahead and go upstairs now that we've read that letter. Why is there some sort of occult symbol on the floor with candlesticks around it? Is this some Cthulhu stuff? Because if so, I'll be very, very happy. But, you know, we'll get to that in a moment. So, we know Andrew was disturbed. He was having hallucinations. He was in rehab for something. His bedroom is literally just like a mattress on the ground, a chair that's knocked over, and a cult symbol with some frickin' candles around it. Let's go inside and do some more investigation, shall we? He apparently took a lot of pills. I don't know if this was some sort of maybe suicide attempt, like he was seeing something and was trying to like make the visions stop or whatever. We know he was hallucinating. He had all these pill bottles. They're all on the ground and open, so I'm assuming he like took a bunch of them. This leads me to believe that maybe it was suicide, but maybe it's more sinister than that. Let's take a quick look in here and see if we can't find anything. So we know that he was on antidepressants and he was on 250 milligrams once a day, every morning with water. Let's see. This drug may cause blackouts, fits of rage, delusional thinking, ultra-violence, drowsiness, impaired motor function, impaired balance, dizziness, fatigue, depression.
Is this tequila?
Something amnesia and reflex tachycardia. Fam, like, why would you give that to somebody and like expect them to be okay. Like, what kind of drug is this? I want to know. Like, I have questions. Serious questions about this medication. And it looks like he had 2 pill bottles of that, and like, no, 3 pill bottles, 4 pill bottles of that, and 3 other pill bottles. Can I pick up any of these pill bottles? No, but they look to be similar things. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Like, this poor guy. Here's his diary. Let's read. May 12th, 1994. I hate to admit it, but Scott is a good kid. He's hardworking, takes care of me when I'm drunk, and he's a man of his word. I'm starting to like him. June 10th, 1994. Did I see her again? How can that be? Why doesn't the medication work anymore? Did he give me cheap pills? No, that can't be. He's as guilty as I am. We're all in it together. He cannot abandon me. They cannot abandon me. Okay. Wow. Oh, wow. So, we know that the doctor giving him the pills is Henry. We know that he's got delusions of some sort, maybe hallucinations, of some woman? Why doesn't the medication work anymore? Cheap pills. He's as guilty as I am. We're all in it together. What are they in it together in? What happened? I want to know. I have questions. August 2nd, 1994. Ever since Scott asked about her, I've started to see Sophia again. Why did he have to mention her? I need more pills. I think I'm going crazy. So first off, who is Sophia? We got like this mystery woman who apparently he is seeing again, Andrew said. I'm assuming he's hallucinating her. They're all as guilty as he is. Did they kill her? What's going on here? Oh Lord, I know I am a sinner. I realize it now. That's why I'm going crazy. I know that nothing I do will bring her back. I pray that our sins do not pass down to our children. Please forgive us for what we have done. Nothing I do will bring her back. Maybe she's dead. Maybe Sophia, whoever this woman is dead. Let's, see if we can find anything else. Like, what the fuck is... What is that? 1 second. For us. She is coming for us. Oh, well, that's encouraging. That's not creepy at all. Random scrawled message on a bedroom door. Not one bit. Okay, so I think we've investigated everything in here. We got some good information. We need to go back to the mansion. We've got 2 codes for 2 rooms in and around the mansion. So let's go back there, do some more digging, and then we'll try to wrap it up. I still want to know who Sophia is, what they're guilty of, what they did to her. I guess we'll figure that out soon. Guys, it's a creepy chick again. I exit the room, and there's a creepy chick. Let me take a picture. So, again, woman wearing black. For the few people who are in chat, please let me know that I'm not crazy, that there's this random chick in black standing on the other side of thing. And she... Okay, her haircut kind of looks like the chick in the picture. Like, see, there she is again. Alright, that's the chick. That's the creepy chick from before. Right? Okay, so that's the creepy chick from before. Make sure I'm not freaking crazy. Doesn't that haircut look the same as what's here? Like, let me do this. See that? Doesn't that haircut look the same? Is this the woman? Who is this woman? Okay, so make sure I'm not crazy. I am going to turn away from the woman. I'm going to turn back. Let's see if she's still there or if I really am going crazy. Oh, she's not there. That's great. And I don't see her anywhere. Well, that's not creepy one bit. No, no. Let's go ahead, I guess, and go back to the mansion and start doing some research into the 2 rooms that we now have codes for. So, in an earlier playthrough, there was a pass-through that I found to the mansion when we were going up there, from this little, like, offshoot. And I want to take it and see what happens. It worked! I wonder if the creepy woman will be back in that random outcropping that I saw her in originally. So I'm gonna go to the backyard first, check that out, and then try to get into the shed in the courtyard. Oh, also, fam, we have to see if we can't look into the Roberts' bedroom from down here. Okay, so this is, I think, their bedroom. The main room, right? There's a key there. I don't know how to get into this room. It was locked when I tried earlier. I wonder if there's a way in somewhere around here. Because, like, here is some sort of hall or something coming from the bedroom. So, I don't know. Let's take a look at a few things and then we'll come back and investigate that. Okay, the creepy woman did not come back here from scaring us after coming out of the other house. So let's go ahead and open the back here. Remembered it first try. The attic key. Well, let's store that. Drawer. Trisha. I'm going to assume this is for something in Trisha's room. So let's store that. TR, Trisha Roberts' diary. Let's read. So, March 26, 1993. She would have been 19 at the time of writing this. I like being with Scott. I can be myself in front of him. He doesn't judge me or tell me what to do. He cares about what I think. He makes me happy. April 1st. Scott and I have decided to have our own secret hideout. It'll be really fun. Mom won't know that we are secretly meeting. September 3rd. I am so glad that Scott is now working at the mansion, although having Andrew as a supervisor is probably not the best idea. He's drunk all the time. I don't want him to be and influence Scott in a bad way. Ugh. Murdered that sentence. Whatever. September 16th. Scott has to work the garden the whole day. After that, he has some errands to do. I guess we won't be meeting today. I miss him already. October 1st. I wanted to learn photography, so Mom hired Oliver to be my tutor. At first, I thought he would be too old to teach, plus his techniques are probably too ancient. But when he came, I was surprised that he's a very humble person. Despite our age differences, we talked for hours. I felt comfortable around him. And then he showed me the photos he took. They were beautiful. It was around this point that I figured out that Oliver is perfect as a tutor, that I shouldn't have been so quick to judge the old man. I'm glad Oliver is my teacher. Scott has finally finished moving all his stuff to the cabin. Winter's coming. It'll be extremely cold in the cabin. The fireplace should help. Maybe I should knit a scarf for Scott? I think I'll visit him today. So we know, 1993, it seemed to be like all butterflies and rainbows and sunshine for Trisha. Something happened. I don't know what. 7? 1. Okay, so this might be important. This is what? A queen and a rook for white. Okay, so the queen and a rook. 7 and 1. Let's put that in our notes real quick. Okay, so let's recap and go back into the game and see if we can't get into the security room and figure out if we can't get into the attic with the attic key as well. They're in the same location, if I remember correctly. Give me just one moment. It seems that I have a message. Okay, I am back. Oh, look, there's a note here. Oliver from the photo lab borrowed a shovel and a wrench. Andrew. P.S. We have extras. I told him he could keep the tools until he was done with them. Okay, so Andrew was the one who let Oliver borrow a shovel and a wrench. Oliver was tutoring Trisha. I wonder if Oliver has something to do with the deaths. Guess we'll find out soon. Okay, so the code I think is in my photos, and I think I took a photo of it. Here we go. 025241. Let's see if I can't open that. 5241. Ah, hell yeah, it opened. So let's take a look in to this room and we'll see if we can't find anything. Trisha's room. So that's the one with the fleur-de-lis on it. Nanny room. That's the one with like the 2 R's on it. So we'll store that too. The tea room is the one that kind of looks like a plus sign. I have the attic room. I don't have the guest room or the garage key. I guess we've got to find those also somewhere in the attic. Ooh, a folder. Oh, employee information. Bernard Hopkins, date of birth November 15th, 1944, resides at 31 Silver Creek Boulevard. I'm taking pictures of that because we found the house key in his gym locker. So it probably goes to his house. So there is a chance that we have a key to his house on 31 Silver Lake Boulevard. Derek Tyler. So yes, Wanda Tyler would in fact be his mother. So that person who died in 1996 by the name of Wanda Tyler is Derek's mother. He was born May 3rd, 1970. If he is 5 years older than our friend Scott Brooks, that means Scott is younger than Trisha because he's 1 year younger. That puts him 1975, and Trisha was born in 74. Okay, so 43 Silver Creek Boulevard, we have his address as well. Wanda Tyler. Okay, also at 43 Silver Lake. She was a housemaid, but is currently hospitalized and will resume her work when discharged. Andrew Reed, 7 Black Pine Road, Painscreek, July 22nd, 1951, regular employee as the gardener, carpenter, handyman, hardworking and trusted by Vivian Roberts. He was a drunkard, and apparently he's trusted by Vivian? The plot thickens. Dorothy Patterson. She is female, born November 15th, 1935, 40 Black Pine Road, which we already knew. She is a regular employee, and she was the nanny, and she was doing childcare and housework, longest hired employee at the Roberts family. Mary Martinez. We're still waiting for a photo. We never got one. She was born February 6, 1973, which makes her 1 year older than Trisha, and she was hired as a maid to do housework, and she previously worked at the Moon Cafe. Okay, well, we got some more information about some of our employees here at the mansion. Let's go take a look at this logbook over here and listen to whatever's on that fax/recording machine. March 18th, 1994, someone ran through the garden last night. A man about 5'5", wearing a hooded sweater, climbed the fence wall into the garden. He proceeded to run to the backyard and jumped over the back wall. Okay. March 25th, 1994, a new stack of VHS tapes has arrived. Please use the new tapes instead of recording over the existing ones. I came across a note by Magdalene Roberts. Haha, so Magdalene is Charles Roberts' mother, stuck between one of the old logbooks. It was requesting the search of a missing security tape dated June 28th, 1975. Okay, so, time out real quick. 1975 is when Scott Brooks was born. Is there possibly more here than what we can see with the naked eye? So, we know Scott is an orphan. He was born in 1975. Vivian was against him dating Trisha. Charles had an affair. Sophia used to be a servant, but I think Andrew and maybe Vivian and the doctor were in on maybe murder? Maybe they murdered her, and that's why this is missing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm obviously reading into things a lot, so try to remain objective and look at the clues, and we'll go from there. May 28th, we have a new security guard coming in today. His name is Samuel Green. Tom Parker, it will be his mentor to get him up to speed. I'm going to take a picture of this page. July 4th, 1994, Andrew came to the mansion at around 11 p.m. very drunk. Scott was called. He arrived around 11:15 and brought Andrew home. August 12th, today marks Tom Parker's 20th year since he started work at the mansion. He will be retiring from his position next month to take care of his ailing wife. November 2nd. There's a strange tale going around Painscreek recently. Stephanie, a 6-year-old girl, got lost during Halloween. Apparently, she followed some fireflies in the woods and could not get back home. Her parents called the sheriff and they conducted a search but could not find her. 2 hours later, Stephanie got home safe and sound. When asked how she found her way back, Stephanie said a young lady found her crying and brought her back. She didn't know the lady's name, but remembered her being pretty and having long black hair. She was wearing a black dress, similar to what the mansion maids wear at work. Strange thing is that when I asked around, all the maids said they were working that evening. Okay, so remember the creepy woman with the black hair and the black dress? Maybe this is the same woman. Take a picture of that. Okay. Of course it's a busy tone, or a disconnected tone. Okay, so we have a few more room keys. We've got some information. We have been streaming for nearly 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think we have enough to call it here for the evening, so let's write some notes. Let us look at some things here. So we know that we have some mansion keys. We know that there's a woman named Sophia, and that the medication that Andrew was on caused major issues mentally. We'll take a look, right? Okay, so Andrew was on medication that had bad side effects, including quote-unquote ultra violence. There were weird occult symbols located at the Reed house. There was a weird girl who seemed to be a ghost with long black hair and a maid's outfit in not just our pictures that we have taken, but also in a story from a little girl who went missing named Stephanie. There are several keys to rooms that we have located, and we have, I think, a key also to some sort of drawer, which I'm going to assume is in Trisha's room. I might quickly go and check that out, and then we're going to call it a night. Okay, so we have got in here no lights. We've got a chest of drawers of some sort. Got like a desk, some cabinets, and that has a keyhole, so I'm going to assume that's what the drawer key goes to. That is success. Okay, so we have a house key. Let's store that. And a note. It says, "Dear Trisha, you can always stay at my place when you feel lonely. Dorothy." So this must be the key to 40 Black Pine Avenue, which is Dorothy's house. Okay. There's another door here. Oh. This must have belonged to Scott. Okay, so this is a Celtic cross. We know he is a pastor's son. He came from St. Patrick's Orphanage. I also noticed when I came to the Roberts Mansion that there is some weird Celtic cross symbol on the gate entry. So Scott says, "Please hold on to this. Someday I will tell you everything." Well, that's interesting. And we have another diary from Trisha Roberts. So let's quickly run through this. This is 1994. "Mom is so judgmental. She doesn't want me to be near Scott, saying that I should find someone who is of the same class as me. What does that even mean? Who determines what class Scott is in? Did Mom talk to Father Matthew? Is that why Father Matthew also forbade us from seeing each other? Don't they know we're in love?" So, guys, I have a sneaking suspicion, and again, this is all just me putting together stuff in my head, that maybe Scott Brooks is Trisha's step-sibling, or half-sibling. Okay, hear me out. Charles had an affair. There's missing footage from 1975. We know that Scott was born in 1975 because he's 5 years younger than Derek, who was born in 1970. We know that he was an orphan. He was not knowing who his parents were. There was some chick who used to work for the household, I think, as a maid, named Sophia. I'm just guessing because there's a woman named Sophia. Scott mentioned her. Andrew knew of her, said he was hallucinating about her. There is a woman with black hair and a maid's outfit that we saw twice now, as well as the story that was in the logbook about a woman with long black hair and a maid outfit. I'm going to guess that Sophia was the person that Scott had the affair with. I am also going to guess that she gave birth to his son, that Scott is that son, and that something happened to her after their birth. So I am going to assume that Vivian, James, and Andrew had something to do with her death, because it said, "We're all sinners, we're all guilty." That leads me to believe they did something wrong. Murder is definitely something wrong. So I am going to guess that they are actually half siblings. Let's continue reading. "Last night, Scott and Father Matthew had a big fight. Father Matthew told him to stop seeing me again. I asked Scott why, but he didn't know the reason. I feel so miserable." October 10th. "Scott asked if I had a younger brother named Vincent." Okay, so he asked if there was a younger brother. Was there? Maybe. I didn't. He told me that it was probably just a rumor, but I wanted to be sure about it. Who had spread such a rumor about my family? At dinner, I asked Mom if I ever had a younger brother named Vincent. She stared at me and said no. She then asked where I got the name from. When I said from Scott, she told me dinner's over. I argued with her. She yelled and sent me to my room. Later, I heard her arguing with Dad. How could Mom fire Scott? That's so unreasonable. There's no reason at all for firing him, and why can't I see Scott anymore? I love Scott. Dad loves him too. Only Mom hates him, and I don't even know why. Fam, I think I know why. I think that she killed his mother. I think that Scott found out about it, and I think that Scott's real name is Vincent, and I think he is Charles's son. That's just a guess, but this seems to be where the narrative is leading. I find it really strange. I knew that today was Scott's day off, so I tried to surprise him at the cabin. However, I couldn't find him. I searched everywhere inside and outside of the cabin. He was nowhere to be found. Just as I was about to leave, he suddenly appeared as if he had been there the whole time. This has happened several times now. I'm wondering if there's a hidden room in the cabin that I just don't know about. Okay, so Scott's cabin could have a hidden room. We know there's hidden rooms in the mansion. We know that there was a door we could not open because it was barricaded in Andrew's house. We know that there is a door that we cannot open in the church. I wonder if all of these doors are somehow connected, as well as the door, which, by the way, we found in the first playthrough, hidden off of the random, like, entryway that is not on the map on Maple Drive. This random room is hidden off of that little, like, shortcut that we took. So, it very well could all be related. With that said, I know that there's more to explore in here, but we will pick up exploring Trisha's room when we come back. I just realized that I haven't been showing you any. Sorry for that. But yeah. We're gonna go from there. We're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Thank you everybody for joining in. It was a little bit silent tonight. Maybe we can get some people chatting next time. If you did sign in and watch me stream, thank you very much. Please come back when I stream again. I think I'm gonna try to talk a little bit tomorrow about random stuff, just chatting, not playing games. We'll see. And I will talk to you all later. Have a lovely, great, and amazing weekend. Thanks, everybody. Bye.